Welcome to Brussels sprouts, the UK's most hated vegetable but most loved property podcast. My name is Dan, and today I'm joined by XL resident prop tech expert Phil Oliver. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hi, everyone.
We're also delighted to have Giles and Niki Fuchs from Office Space in Town. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Hello, guys. Super excited to have you on Brussels sprouts, and we're really looking forward to learning more about your stories. Quick question, firstly, for both of you, actually. How was your morning so far?
Well, a bit early, probably. Yeah, great. I got dressed, did my teeth, all normal, had toast, and then you popped up on my screen. So, so far, so well, relatively good, I'd say.
I won't take that as an insult. Niki, how about you?
Nice and quiet. I did a bit of yoga this morning, 10 minutes rise and shine yoga. And I've got a postman ringing at my doorbell right now, so I'm thoroughly distracted.
Usually I have my dog run at the postman, so in the middle of a propped up cast as well, so that's pretty helpful.
Yes.
Phil,
in answer to your question, I've had a very calm day so far.
It sounds like a lovely start. Phil, did you do any yoga this morning?
Do you know, I missed it this morning. A bit frustrated by that, because of course we have our own XL yoga as well, don't we?
Oh yes, we do. You should jump on that sometime. It's very good, and you guys are welcome to join anytime too.
Do we have to wear spandex for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan generally wears that every day anyway, so it's quite good.
Oh, Giles, you and Dan might have something in common.
This is being recorded, but Niki's referring to an OSiT weekend away, a team building episode, where the title was circus, I think it was. And I don't know if you remember, they were a thing many years ago, and I still had some of those sort of trampoline bottoms, you know, with the hoops under the foot. Remember? A bit like leggings, but I thought that's what an acrobat wears, isn't it?
Oh, you know,
yeah. Type pantaloons. But anyway, and then one of the girls turned to me and said, you might want to delete this later, but one of the girls turned to me and said, Giles, we can see what sex, not what sex you are, we can see what religion you are through those.
Yeah.
Where can I get a pair of those?
Yeah.
Giles will send you some by the sound of things.
Well, I threw them away after that.
They've been banned.
Probably a bit too revealing.
Save them for a rainy day. Guys, I feel like we've got to know you a little bit there, but actually we're going to get to know you a bit more because we are now going to get to know you with our quick fire questions. So I'll let Phil do the honours. Phil, start the clock. Let's go.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining, Giles and Niki. It's great to have you on. As Dan said, quick fire through these. So, Niki, what are you most proud of? And that could be either personal, work, anything.
Oh, what am I most proud of? My family.
Nice.
I think they're amazing. They're always there. They never fail to amaze me. Every single one of them, from Giles, my mother, my son, husband, nieces. So yeah, my family.
And Giles made the cut on that as well.
I know. Look, I think she told me I was better mention him. I think it was an honorable mention, Phil.
Thank you for that. Right, Giles, what are the best and worst purchases you've ever made?
Oh, that's a very good one. Well, I'm going to say probably. I'm going to say, although I think I'm very well known for my sartorial elegance in dress, I think apparently the jury is out on that. And I do remember back a long, long time ago when I was a young thing about town, I bought this pair of white zip-up shoes, which unfortunately is still referred to today. So I think that's probably my worst purchase, because
nice.
How many years later, still people going, that is awful, and it affects my obviously my image. In terms of best purchases, well, I'm going to say it's not meant to be in any way boasting, but when I was very young, I did a house, did it up, sold it, and bought Knee Type Jack Hero poster, which I still own today. So I'm going to say and of course financially, not only did I have great fun, but financially it was a good investment. So probably the best purchase was my E-Type Jaguar.
That's an amazing purchase. Yeah, I love E-Types. In fact, I've got one up there actually. I don't know if you can see it.
Can't quite see it.
No, can't quite see it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Very nice car. Sorry. Anyway, we digress, Dan. Niki, what's something I would never guess about you?
Oh, God. Something you'd never guess about me. Oh, well, if I tell you, then it sort of removes the mystery, doesn't it? So do I have to tell you? I'm not sure there isn't anything that anybody doesn't know about me. I'm very open. I talk about everything, innermost feelings, thoughts. There's not much I keep secret. So I wasn't married secretly. I don't have any,
certainly not
hidden children anywhere. I really have nothing. How sad is that? There is nothing interesting about me at all.
You were so reticent. I think that's probably the thing that we didn't know about you.
Very, I'll say interesting. That's still interesting, Niki. I'll take that. Actually, next question. Giles, what's something I don't know about Niki?
Well, how well do you know that? I'm hoping pretty well everything you don't know. How about she's into collecting horses? Her husband breeds horses. How about that? And they have lots of them.
Well, okay. Thank you, Giles.
Giles, what are the 3 best words that describe you?
Oh, blimey. See, the trouble with that is you can go down the wrong route and look like a total person who's full of themselves, can't you? But
brilliant, amazing,
gregarious, mustachioed, and there you go. I think I get away with that.
Right. We'll take
I remember. I think I can't remember what conference it was, Giles, but I think you were speaking and you told a very good story about your moustache then as well. It was in the city. I can't remember what it was, but it was really interesting about your tash. I'm not sure I can mention it now, but
no, that wasn't about my tash. That was about my Invisaligns. And about my lisp. That joke.
That might have been it. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, am I allowed to tell that one?
No. Really?
Shall I, Dan?
It's up to you. We're not for children. This podcast.
No. Okay. Well, I shall tell it.
Yeah. Go on.
As Phil's brought it up, he obviously thought it was okay. So, being one of the words, perhaps, maybe slightly vain. I think we probably all are. So I had Invisalign done a couple of years ago. And you wear them for 9 months and you change the plate and your teeth move around. Oh, it's very good, actually. And you can't really see you wearing them. But it doesn't let you say like that. I'm going to try and remember what I said now. But it wasn't about my moustache. And I said to the audience, I said, as you could probably hear, I don't normally say like this, but I've got an Invisalign. And I'm trying to remember what the punchline is now. And I said, it feels as though, that's right, it feels as though my tongue is too big for my mouth. And I said, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on whether you ask my staff or my wife.
We've just found our clip for the episode.
Exactly.
Is that the one? Well, is that the one you're
That was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Phil, I can't believe you brought that up. That is just.
I remember.
But the funny bit was it was actually true. The funny bit was this room was packed full of people, and after I said it, and I knew it was right on the cuff, and after I said it, the room went until one bloke, you could see his mind where he went, did he say that? And he went like that. The whole room fell around laughing. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was very well delivered, actually. Right. So, if Niki, I think we know this actually. If you could win an Olympic medal for any sport, you could make up that sport if you like. What would it be?
Oh, it would be like a superhero jumping into the sky like that and just going forever and just going as high as I can.
Forever. That's quite a long time. Forever.
Well, it is quite a long time, but I don't know what the highest is. I don't know if you go up into the universe or you go round the earth. I don't know how you'd win it, but that's it. Just jump and go.
You had that ready to go. You had that ready to go. You did not know the question. You just had that answer ready.
Just for the listeners, the three of them just looked really blank at me then. The three of them looked back and like, what is she talking about?
I honestly had money on horse racing or dressage or anything like that. 3-day eventing. But we'll go with jumping. Jumping sounds cool.
Super jumping.
Superhero jumping.
Brilliant. Okay. Giles, and last question. If you could take a week off from your regular life to immerse yourself in something new, what would it be?
I'm really, golf, sailing. Golf or sailing, probably. Not so new. I like both of those things, but I don't get enough time to do either. So, bit of a boring answer, but I just love them.
You could do a driving range off your boat.
Yeah. And collecting the balls would be orcs.
Exactly. Right, guys, I think we've got to know you very well. I've learned some things I didn't want to know, actually, but still we got to know them.
So I suppose we should bring this back to the business end, and obviously because we go out to hundreds of thousands of people, this is your opportunity to let us know all around office space in town. So I'm not sure who's doing it. Is it Niki? Are you doing the 30-second elevator pitch?
I don't know how I got picked for that. As you can tell from this conversation, Giles is definitely the one who's out there. He's the eloquent one. But I'm happy to have a go. But I think you should hear Giles's as well, just for the just so you really understand the roles that Giles and I play in this business, because they'll be really different.
Go for it.
Okay. So Office Space in Town offers its clients a space where they can be their best selves and they can perform to their best and optimum levels. And we have the most beautiful space, and we provide environments which our clients need, whether they know it or not at the time. And our staff feel trusted and empowered, so we know that they provide our clients with the support and excellent service they need day in, day out.
Thank you. I mean, looking at the spaces, they are really beautiful, aren't they? I like the red padded leather, and they look great.
Shall I have a go? See what happens. See what comes out my mouth.
Go for it.
I'm hoping it might be a bit cleaner, and not the Invisaligns either, or my tongue. Anyway. So what people may or may not know is that our mother invented the industry in the UK back in 1979, interestingly, in Northampton Town Centre. It came out of necessity. The family had an office building which it owned for years and years, and it was empty. And most people won't remember 1979. Certainly you won't, Dan, and probably you won't, Phil. It was a bad letting market. And my father, who was a jet-setting businessman, said to my mother, there's this thing in New York called business centres, you should do it. She was a stay-at-home mum, but she thought, well, if he thinks I can do it, I probably can. And she set up the first serviced office in Billing Road, Northampton, and that's where it started. And those two centres are still serviced offices all these years later. Anyway, we've made 40 years of mistakes. And as time goes, we're making less and less mistakes, and over the next 40 years, expect to make very, very few. We set up the business. What we learned about the business is that you need to create spaces that don't need to be sold. So, as you said, Phil, our spaces are beautiful. I mean, 3 of them have won the Telegraph Interior of London Awards, would you believe? So the last 3 we did were the last 3 we put in, and they all won. And that's so that it's a very easy choice for the occupier to come and go, I love this space and I'll take it. And the manager really just has to talk to them about the services we offer and the price. And then the other thing that we realized was we're a service industry. We are serviced offices. So we employ our lovely staff. The thing I think we're probably most proud of before, in fact, beautiful space is our staff. And Niki coined it for me when she said we employ on soft skills, not hard skills. So every single member of a staff, the managers choose them and they create a shortlist, but we meet. I don't want to say interview, but it's more of a chat to understand their values. We're a family business with family values, and we believe in integrity and supporting each other and working together as one team. And I think I love that about us, because a bad apple does get through occasionally, but they wheedle themselves out because it's not a comfortable place for that personality to be. Office Space in Town has always been at the forefront of change in the industry. I mean, we talk about the designs, but we were the first to put wide corridors in, so it didn't feel like a hospital. Those of you remember serviced office all those years ago, it was door after door after door. Well, we didn't do that. We said this is a place not that people are going through. This is this is not a terminal. This is a terminus. This is where they stop and they live. And that ended up offering free meeting rooms, club lounges. The pipes for internet got bigger and bigger and bigger and had 0.3 of a second failover, so that the internet, which is the key part of running your business, doesn't ever fail. I mean, doesn't ever too much. We created what we called a spec book for our fit out. So the sound insulation between the offices is no less than 42 decibel levels. The door handles, the furniture, the loos, everything has a minimum standard, which creates all that is designed to create an environment, and we're told by our clients that it works, that encourage them to be more productive, to get staff. They tell us that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to encourage to come and work for them, because the space they're offering is such a nicer space than the space of the other people, and then keep their staff. So I think what that does for us as a business, of course, it means we keep our clients longer. So before COVID, our average stay was just over 3 years. Now you talk about flex space, you expect it to be, a few months, but actually we are now a home for people, and that I think has changed over the last few years. So Office Space in Town is a great, collaborative, fun, well-locationed serviced office business.
I could have done that if I hadn't had just 30 seconds to pick.
Well, once you've got them, Niki, you've got to keep them. That's all I'm saying. You can edit the bejeebers out of that if you want.
You don't need me.
Thanks for the detail. Lots going on, and I suppose it leads to one of the questions around Office Space in Town and how it embraces technology. So what would you say are kind of the key technologies, I would almost say pre-COVID and now with COVID, that you guys will be embracing or have embraced?
Well, we've spent the last 3 years reviewing everything in the business to try and ensure that every process is digitized. And thankfully, when we hit the pandemic, we were in a really strong position. Just, the simple things of Office 365, for instance, so that you're able to work from home. There were a lot of businesses that hadn't even adopted that. So when the pandemic came, it was a big change they had to make. But for OSiT, pre-pandemic, we had things like what we call the sign-in app. So clients can sign in at reception. It emails the client to let them know that their visitor is there. Registering postage packages and things. So again, the client is told immediately what's happening in reception and what they've received and from who. What else? Online. We have an app, so our clients can book their meeting rooms online. They can meet other clients online, so it's got a social element to it. They have all of our events going on, so they can register for the events that we're holding. They can see their bills, their licenses. So a one-stop shop for everything they need. They can even communicate with the teams through it. I think one of the new pieces of technology that we are launching next week actually is software free to our clients, where they can book the desks within their office. So if they are working flexible hours, or they're working team in an A and B team situation,
Well,
their staff can book the actual desk that they're going to sit at, so they can ensure they have the social distancing. They can see which members of the team are going to be in at any one time. So we're really excited about that, and being able to offer it free to our clients is, we think, is a great great benefit to them.
Especially how people be running at capacities and what have you now, and there's some more people in at that time. Hot desking it's been around for a while, hasn't it? But I think it's really going to be used now, so that's going to be really interesting.
It is, and especially as nobody really, you hear a lot from the big corporations of this is how we're going to work and this is how many days you're going to come in. I think the majority of companies don't know what they're going to look like and how they're going to be working in 12 months. It's going to be very much a suck it and see. Let's see what works for us, how the space works, what works for our teams. So giving them that flexibility to feel comfortable in their space, is really important.
Have you noticed any trends with how people are choosing to come back to work at the moment?
No, the clients that we have got that have either stayed working in the offices throughout the pandemic, or who have bought offices during the pandemic, or that are coming back now, are coming back as they would and working as they would have done if COVID had never happened. Yeah. So we haven't really seen how those clients that were working from home 100% are going to come back yet. For our client base, they are looking sort of more June, July, August, September. So it's going to be a phased roll in of their staff. So we haven't had a lot of insight yet into how those companies are going to come back.
Interesting. Thank you for that. Giles and Niki, actually, what is the most important, would you say? Can you rank these? Space, service, and location. Perhaps you want to add sort of outfitting as well of the interior.
That very good. So space, as in the fit out, are you talking about?
Yeah.
Location and service.
Yeah.
Well, they're all important. Obviously, start with that. I'm going to say that the first thing that people will consider is the location. So before they've even got there, the thing they don't know about the space and they don't know about the service. So probably one would have to be the location, and you could bring that up actually. Did you read it on our website? But we're all of ours within 4 minutes walk of a major tube or rail hub on that basis. Then I'm going to say service. Probably, I mean, we're talking about our staff being probably our key asset. I think that when you go to, for instance, if you go to a restaurant and the service is magnificent. I mean, firstly, they remember your name. I mean, how great do we feel? But the restaurant is a bit shabby, and maybe the food is okay, but it's not great. But you keep going back there because they are so nice. So probably service is how I see that. And third, but very important, is the space, because that's the thing that if it was bad, you'd have to consider moving. Yeah, when the alarm goes off, you've got to consider moving. If it was that bad and shabby, you'd think. So I'd probably put it in that order, Niki.
I've got to agree with you. I think where you're going is really important, especially in the current market. Whether you want to be close to home, whether you're worried about commuting, whether you have to be in a area where all the other businesses are in a cluster environment. Service, we all like to feel special, so I agree with the Giles on that. And space, you make your own environment, don't you? You have it's about the people that you're surrounded with, and if your business is at the beginning of its life and money is tight, then really the space isn't that important. You've got the future of the business to have nice office space in the future. You've got to spend your money where you need to. So yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think I agree too, actually, with everything you've said. Certainly the location bit, that is the first thing you look at, even if you're looking to find a job, where is it based? Can I get there? Is it easy to get to? It might be the best space in the world, but it might be 100 miles away. Phil, what are your thoughts?
No, I think we've spoken through it. I think it's like location, technology, or that's the way things are. But So over the next kind of 5 years, what do you see, or where do you see the major challenges within the flex industry? What's changing?
Do you want me to go
Giles? Yeah, you go.
I think the challenges are around the fact. Well, I think the traditional lease is becoming less and less prevalent as people want flexibility, agile businesses, agile workspace. Agile seems to be a word, doesn't it? Everyone's using. And that's because businesses, technology businesses, growing so quickly and failing so quickly. So to take a long lease makes less sense. There still will be the corporates. They'll take leases. They might take 25-year leases, but for most other people, about that. And I think given COVID has accelerated that, where people haven't renewed their lease, where they have the opportunity, people coming into flex. Therefore, the landlords are going to feel probably already under pressure with their empty buildings, and they're going to join the flex revolution. So what's going to change? What are the trials and tribulations for us as an operator? Is that there's going to be a lot more competition. And I think for the reputation of an industry, which has been battered and bruised throughout the last 40 years, one way or another, there will be, these landlords won't probably get it serviced. And so I think we'll have perhaps some of the landlords giving us a bad reputation. Our view of the future, or is that for a future question? Our idea of the future is that the buildings that we run, that we buy and turn into service offices, will get bigger and offer more services. I mean, currently, you may or may not know that in some of our buildings, we offer cafe restaurants, bedrooms.
I saw the bedrooms. That's really interesting.
Yeah, hairdressers. But our plan is to get bigger buildings so we can add, further restaurants, further bedrooms, but also things like creches. We have gyms in some of our buildings, of course. So I think just doctors, dentists. I think we're going to offer more and more services in the one environment run by the building owner, which will give a much more joined up, coherent feel.
Giles, you're sort of describing a utopia there where everything exists in one building. You never have to leave it. You've got maybe a garden on the middle floor that you go your outside time, and that is it. You start upstairs, go to the garden, go to work, go back upstairs. Is that what you think?
I'm not advocating that. Absolutely. You need to leave, get out, see your friends, have a beer. We have gardens. We have rooftop gardens on almost all our buildings, actually. But Niki, so back in 2002, Niki went into a dark room for a weekend and came out with the future of serviced offices. And she coined the acronym CMOB, Serviced Enhanced Multi-Occupied Building. So Dan, you're right. That was less utopian or otherwise, but that is our view of the future of serviced offices.
Yeah, of course.
You might find with climate change that you do end up living in a building from top to bottom. I think the way it's going, definitely not the next 5 years, but if you look how the hotel industry has developed, you have hotels in the most bizarre locations. They have themes. They all have different products. They have a price range from £10 a night to, £10,000 a night, depending whether it's a hostel, a boutique hostel, a backpacker hostel, up to taking a suite on the top floor in Dubai or something. So I think the flex industry is going to grow like that. There will be something for everybody, for every business, for every need. And I think ultimately, I think it will become the dominant method in which consumers take office space. It'll be a consumer item as opposed to a leasehold product which a mature business takes. It'll be something that individuals consume, because they're a digital nomad, to a corporate occupier. So that's how I see it. And it'll be space. Sorry, last thing. It'll be space that people want to go to, like they want to go to a hotel. They choose the hotel because it fits with their mood at the time, the location, the budget they have, or the speed with which they need to go in and out of a location. And I think the flex space industry will ultimately get to that point.
And just on that, I suppose, following on from that, do you guys have a kind of a sweet spot of customer?
No. We our client base it's wouldn't it be great for marketing? We would love to, but we have tried to classify our clients. We have tried to find some commonality between. The only thing they have in common, there is one thing that they all have in common, and that is that they love OSiT and they love the teams that look after them in their buildings, and that's the one thing that they have in common. But before meeting us, we found nothing that they have in common, other than that they're still trading successfully.
So that's a really interesting conversation at the moment, isn't it? Because you have some providers are saying that they want to, I don't know, concentrate on a specific vertical, size of customer, employee size, what type of space that they want, and they're trying to build collaboration around that. And actually, what others are telling us is that the mix and being eclectic mix means that you get much more of that anyway, organically, rather than forcing it together, if you see what I mean. So I find that really quite interesting.
Phil, I think, sorry, Nick, I think you're right. I think both things are true. There are people, I mean, the first serviced offices were a barrister's chamber, where a load of lawyers got together and had a crew of clerks looking after them. So that was the integration, the vertical integration, if you like, of the same industry. But it must be true that as a business, you need accountants, you need marketing, you need all the different fundamentals of it. And as the business owner, you might say, well, that's what is more important than being in an environment where I can collaborate with people of the same set. And I think that people are quite protective about their intellectual property. So I think especially tech companies, if they have we do have businesses that say, do you have anyone else in our sector? And we'll say, well, yes or no. And they'll go, well, if they're there, we definitely don't want to be anywhere anymore. So I think both things are true, Phil.
Okay, great, thanks.
Very interesting, very interesting. Just moving on then. So how does a flex-based provider sort of go from one site to this growing enterprise that clearly OSiT has been on this journey? What are those key ingredients that other people listening may take from this and use themselves?
Well, a large portion of luck, I'm going to say, because it wasn't always thus. So we had a very successful service office company called City Executive Centres. But we took a wrong partner and it stopped us growing. But this time round, we took the right partner being money in this instance. It was a fund, a hedge fund, and they had lots of it, and they believed in us, and it went well. So there are several things. So we grew because I did make a joke earlier that we made 40 years of mistakes. So we'd made a lot of mistakes, but we'd come through the other end knowing where the slippery banana skins were. And I think that gave us, our money, our investors, trust and belief that we knew what we were doing, which of course we did. And then you need to be hitting the market. If you're going to take our model, which is to buy building, you need to be hitting the market at the right time, that you can buy them at a time that it makes sense at the price wise. And I don't think it matters whether the economy is on the up or the down, because there are always businesses that need a house, that need a home. We knew nothing. Here's a whole different webinar, guys, that you should be doing about what is money. Because I remember sitting down and going, well, okay, we've got money now. And they go, but money's not money. I mean, they do try and bamboozle you with science. There's short-term money and long-term money and IRR money and W cash. I mean, it's a minefield. I mean, it's shillings and pence, isn't it, really? But apparently not. So we were lucky. We had an investor who had some cash. We then found another investor. Then we had another investor, and we're onto our fourth investor at the moment. And luck, hard work. The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah, we play it.
Okay. I agree with Giles. I mean, for us, it was all about the money, because we had. So your question was, how do you go from one site to more sites? How do you grow?
Yeah.
Well, I think, like Giles said, you have to choose the way you want to do it. Are you going to do management deals? You're going to take leases? You're going to buy buildings? They all require different things. I think the first thing, though, is you have to absolutely have a why and a vision. What do I want to look like? How big do I want to be? Do I have the skills to do this? Do I need to buy them in? You know, it's like any business. Make sure you get the groundworks right. I think one lesson we learned very early on when we grew, originally, we didn't have money. We did just management contracts. And so we were like, yeah, we'll do that one in Scotland. Yeah, we'll do that one in Bristol. And we're like, okay, how do you cover that? You need to choose your geography, choose your location, choose your market, and make sure you know it really, really well. You know what the business can grow to, you know the size of your market. Don't just take it because it's offered to you. Greed is the biggest single failure of businesses. You overexpand, you run out of cash, you borrow too much. So don't grow just for the sake of growing. Be really careful about it. And so I think, learn your area, choose your location, and finding business is the same as everything. It's who you know. You've got to go out there, do your networking, and you have to be trustworthy. People have to trust you that you can deliver what you say you're going to deliver. But I think anyone that wants to grow in this industry, there is ample opportunity. You've just got to get yourself in front of the right people.
Phil, anything for you?
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Really interesting.
Guys, what we like to finish on is a bit of fun. So we'd love to have a laugh for a little bit. So guys, have you got a office-related joke for us? Who's going to go? Or both of you going to go?
Can I say, can you see me? Because you guys have gone into your initials somewhere.
Yeah, you've disappeared.
Oh, I see it, everyone. Yeah, still see
You see it.
So okay. It's cut off for me as well, but I'm just rolling with it.
Okay. I'll tell you a true story. Or is it about? Before I do that, can I just shut my door because I can hear my wife chatting?
Okay.
So don't go away.
Well, I've had to resort to the internet for my joke, because I went to the team and sadly they didn't follow through as I hoped they would, and the ones they did send were absolutely useless. They weren't funny.
I'm back now. So as I said, this is a true story, or is it? Anyway, I was waiting for a very important guest to arrive at one of my centres, and I was sitting in our facilities management room, which is next to reception in all our buildings, and I was keeping an ear out, and then I heard a voice that I thought I recognised, and I then went out and I said, "Oh, hi, Giles Fuchs, lovely to see you. Come and have a chat." And then I was telling him about how things were going. I was talking about my mother and my golf, and he was telling me about his mother and his golf. And we had this long conversation. And I asked about his business, was it going well? And he said it was. And he then said, "Well, do you think Pete from Selco is in or not?" And it was totally the wrong person.
The right person hadn't turned up, had they?
Oh, I can't remember. They were probably sitting in a corner thinking, "Why is Giles taking so long with that bloke?" But,
sounds like you hit it off though with him, like really well.
I think he took an office.
Always selling. Brilliant. Niki, what have you got for us then?
Oh, really? You're going to make me do this? You're going to humiliate me. Right, so I found this on the internet, and it made me giggle.
At least you're honest.
Why do I drink coffee?
I don't know. Why do you drink coffee?
Thank you, Phil. It allows me to do stupid things faster with more energy.
I like it. It's sweet.
It resonated. What can I say?
It resonated. Oh, thank you so much for those jokes, guys, and thank you for lending us your time today to give us that great insight into the industry. It sounds like OSiT a really, really good place, and that you've got a lot of exciting times ahead of you in the future. Thank you for coming on. Have you had a nice time?
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks very much for joining, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Brussels Sprouts. Please like, rate, subscribe. This has been Brussels Sprouts. Fishy delicious. See you next time.